This is the Big O Show.
Is it? Is it the Big O Show?
This is the Big O Show.
Oh, yes, it is. Welcome aboard. Yes.
Another time change.
Yes, exactly. Today we're
Keep you guys on your toes.
Yeah, today we're starting at 10:30 instead, and we got to get that whole picture in there, Bill. We don't have the Vegas helmet in. We don't have the whole mic flag in there. We gotta include, because in honor. Let me see. I'm moving in a little bit more. In honor of the XFL starting, I figured I'd whip out my Orlando Rage jersey. I'd whip out a Rage helmet, a Las Vegas. In honor of us, making Vegas our second home this year, because we're going there twice for a week, because we will go for a week. Trust me. When I go out west, we go for a week. So we're going to go out west for a week this season for the Raiders and the Dolphins. So we're looking forward to that. So I figured I'd whip out. I have the whole collection, actually. I have all, whatever it is, 8 teams from the first go-around. So,
I think it's 8 again.
Yeah, it is 8 again. Yes, it is 8 again. It's 8 again. Of course, I come prepared. Jerry Glanville, Bob Stoops, Jim Jeffcoat. Remember Jim Jeffcoat, those long-ass arms for the Cowboys? That's all I remember from Jim Jeffcoat. Jim Jeffcoat would line up on a three-point stance, and he was basically standing when he put his arm down on the ground. Seriously, he didn't have to bend over. I mean, that guy had arms that were like, that's the one thing that I remember about Jim Jeffcoat. That guy could tackle you. The second you hiked the ball, he just reached over to the quarterback and brought him down. Anyway,
I had to have somebody take over Ed Too Tall Jones's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, same thing. Chris Miller, Pepper Johnson, June Jones, Jim Zorn, Winston Moss. These are some of the coaches that are in this league. All right?
Winston Moss.
Yeah, Chris Dishman is in this league. Mark Trestman, Tim Lewis, Martin Bayless, Mike Riley. These are guys that you know as coaches or players or whatever that are.
A lot of NFL cachet there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of work, available to folks out there. I didn't have an XFL hat, so what I figured I had to whip out these props, because some of you are going, but wait a minute.
At least you're color coordinated. You match the helmet over here to the right.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And no, not only that, I didn't really want to wear this stuff at Toyota of Hollywood tomorrow or Craig's Inn or Hialeah Park. So I figured I'd get my props out today, since, we can always whip out the props inside the studio. I figured we'd do that. So in honor of the XFL, if the XFL wants to send us new helmets, hey, more power to you, brother. I mean, that'll be cool. We'll give you some love. So we got a lot of exciting things too developing here on the show. So I can't wait. We got a loaded show for you. David Furonos is going to join us at 11:30 to talk a little bit about signing day tomorrow for the nation. And it's not a big deal anymore because of the early signing period, but we'll go over with David some of the lingering players that they could acquire or lose out on, and that we'll do that at 11:30. Michelle Kaufman is going to stop by at 2 o'clock to join us for her weekly Inter Miami segment. We got a lot of things to talk about with Inter Miami. New players. They got an 8-game package. Something else. I got to look it up. But there's a couple of other news and notes that we'll go over with Inter Miami and Michelle Kaufman. So we'll have a little fun there. We got so many. Today is one of those days that, there are so many things to talk about. It's really, really crazy. Yeah. I think it's one of those days where I'm just over prepared, and I've got so many different items that I want to address, whether it's sports, whether it's music, pop culture, all that kind of stuff. We'll have a little bit of everything there to talk about. First of all, let's get into a little Panthers last night, because the Panthers last night, a hell of a game, man. I mean, it's sad that now their goaltender is just, I forgot the guy's name and pronouncing it or whatever. Do you remember the guy's name from last night?
Something with an A, almost like Anderson.
Yeah,
And
it's not Anderson. It's not that simple.
you would have got that.
Thanks. I appreciate that for making me sound like a complete moron. I know I'm a moron, but don't make me sound like one. Like, you can't remember Anderson? Come on.
It's like.
Yeah, well, it's nothing like Anderson. I forgot the damn name. But anyway, the guy's red hot. He's like 12-2 or something in his last 14 games.
23 points in 25 games.
Yeah.
20. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just he's red hot. And Bob played that's what I felt bad, that Bob actually played a really good game yesterday, and he wasn't rewarded with what we normally see, offense. Isn't that weird? Right? It's just so twisted. It's like it's so Dolphins-like. The week the defense kicks ass, they can't score a damn point. The week the offense is blowing up, the defense is caved in the second half, and they're giving up drive after drive, and you're like, come on, man. And it's so Dolphin-like over the years that's happened to us. That's
number 2 scoring offense in the NHL, only behind Colorado.
Our winner teams are the Heat and the Panthers can score. I mean, they can score. That's not an issue for those teams. Okay? Heat's a little better on defense, but and they still got improved. Oh, my rage helmet fell there. Damn.
They just don't want to get into the action. That's all.
I didn't position it right.
They don't want to wait till this weekend. They want to get in the action.
Yeah, they definitely did. No doubt. Now he got concussed. Anyway, so it was a hell of a game by Bob. It was one of those games where you sit back, and the Panthers have played well as of late, and I think they got 3 out of 6 points in this trip. So they did all right. Could have done a little better, but it's decent. At least you got a point last night. But it's one of those where I felt really bad for Bob. Okay, now there are days so far this season that we could have said, Bob, dude, you should have played a lot better. I'm the first guy to point that out. But yesterday, I felt bad for him, man. I really did, because you got 44 saves. You are on your head, dude. Okay? And then you finally gave up one in overtime. And again, not the greatest defense in front of you when you gave up that goal, too. So, whatever. But it is what it is. Sadly, the Panthers ended up losing in overtime. They're now 29-17-6. They're in third place in the division. You want them to climb a little bit more. Speaking of Las Vegas, the Panthers will play Las Vegas tomorrow at 7 o'clock at the BB&T Center with no Gallant. So there you go. So we'll see that, and hopefully the Cats can continue their hot play. They need to, so they can climb in those standings. I don't want them at the bottom of the playoff standings. Why do I keep hearing a bell? The hell is that? Where the hell is that coming from? I swear I heard a bell, right? Oh, it was that? Turn that damn thing off.
I don't know what's going on.
I'm going to keep hearing a bell every once in a while. I'm going, what the hell is this? What's going on? I don't have anything on. And it's your ass over there doing the bells. Come on, man. Hell's bells. So Cats back in action tomorrow, taking on Vegas, baby. Vegas. That's what it's all about. Remember, speaking of Vegas, go to our Twitter page. We've got our Tommy Rockers reservation link there. So you can, inquire about reserving your table for 1, 2, or 3 days in the draft. You got to tell them how many in your party, what days are you going to be with us at the Vegas draft party, which, of course, is going to be the party. Trust me, you don't want to be stuck standing like in front of you're not even going to be in front of the stage, most likely. You'll be, 50 yards away, 100 yards away, in the sun. It's not. You want to be at Tommy Rockers with us in Vegas, doing a Dolphins-related type draft and enjoying all of that. So you go to our Twitter page at Big O Show. I think we posted on Facebook too. But it's there, the link for Tommy Rockers, and you can call them and reserve your table now. Set yourself up, okay? All right? They can't take any money or anything like that, but it's kind of a first come, first serve. You can put your name on the list. You know what I'm saying? So you can get in there. So you definitely want to set yourself up for all of that. Have you picked an XFL team yet?
No, you know what? I looked at it briefly, and no, I haven't picked one.
I went with, the Rage last time because it was the closest team to us, so it's a state team. So, but we don't have an Orlando team. We have a Tampa team this year. So I'm going to go with Tampa. That's going to be my team this year is Tampa. Supposedly, I don't know anything about this, Dallas is favored, okay? The odds in Vegas say Dallas is the favorite team to win it all in the XFL.
If you're betting on XFL, you'd bet on almost anything.
Well, there's plenty of people that are going to bet on XFL, dude. Plenty.
Well, you know what I'm saying. Usually you want to be, an educated participant. How much are you going to know about the XFL?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing.
So you might as well just, bet on a coin flip.
Yeah. No, I got you. No, you're right. You're right. It's one where betting on the XFL, you really have got to be desperate.
Like you say, if there's roaches involved and we could bet on it somehow, we're doing it.
The thing about the XFL is, and just like all these leagues, right? A lot of us that love football, we get all pumped up about it because we're going to get more football. But then when we realize how many notches under the NFL it is, we're like, okay, we're good. And so that first week, they always get decent ratings. It doesn't matter what league it is. The XFL last time got great ratings that first day, that first weekend. After that, it pummeled, man. It was downhill after that until I believe Las Vegas won its only title. I want to say Las Vegas and Tommy Maddox won the title. I think. Yeah, I want to say Tommy Maddox and Vegas won the title. Look it up. Who won the XFL title? Okay. And this was a long time. I've had these helmets a long time now that I think about it.
I was living on the beach. It's probably somewhere between 2002, 2003, 2000, somewhere in that vicinity.
Yeah.
17, 18. Once upon a time.
2001 was the season.
God, even further than I thought.
19 years ago.
I remember we set up fantasy teams for the XFL.
Yeah,
we were
definitely.
little psychotic about.
Yeah,
the
no,
fantasy
I got into it. I definitely got into it, and I'll give it a chance again because it's football. You know what I mean? So I'll give it a chance and try it out and all that stuff. I want to see if we could get somebody on to talk a little XFL. I just don't know what's a legit reporter in the XFL right now because the thing hasn't been around long enough for me to kind of figure out who the hell it is. Anyway, so if you want to get in on the program, it's really simple. 786-322-1105 is the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105. The XFL, by the way, will not test for weed. Okay? No weed testing in the XFL, which, you know what? It's not that you're encouraging it, but you're saying, okay, look, if you live in one of those states where it's legal, we don't want to hold it against you. So there you go. So if I'm a player and I have to play in the XFL, I'm telling my agent, please get me to a weed state. Okay? I didn't even think about this. Is marijuana legal in Texas? Is it legal in New York? Is it legal in Florida? Is it legal in Washington? It is. Missouri, because that's where St. Louis is, right? Okay, I know. I just want to make sure.
St. Louis, Missouri, yeah.
I wasn't. Maybe it was in Kansas also.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. California,
Toto.
L.A., California has it. D.C., Washington, I don't believe is legal yet. Houston, Texas, I'm not sure. So they've got two teams in Texas. So I wonder, that was the other thing. Some of these teams, there's a couple that I know that are in legal states. Others are not. And so they're not testing for weed. It debuts this weekend. Okay. The favorite team is Dallas, plus 300. New York is plus 400. My team, Tampa Bay, is plus 500. LA is plus 550. DC's plus 700. Houston plus 750. St. Louis plus 800. And Does it mean anything when the wise guys label Seattle plus 1,100? I mean, like, they really think you suck. It's the first year nobody knows anything about the teams, but the wise guys are already convinced that Seattle has no shot at the title plus 1,100.
You know what I was thinking about? I remember the first time around they tried to do it regionally and use players from the area, so to speak, to
Did they?
build the base. Yeah.
Okay.
Like if you were in Florida,
Oh, yeah.
you use that way there would be a regional interest.
No, but it was only select players.
Yeah, like I said,
yeah.
just build your base and have at least an in.
Not even a
with
base.
with your community.
Not even a base. It was a few players. I remember that. If you were from the Birmingham type of area, they put you on that Birmingham team and all that.
It just
I get it. I get it.
Just generate some interest with the locals. It makes sense.
I get it.
It makes sense.
I get it.
By the way, Los Angeles Extreme were the ones that won the championship, and that makes sense because Maddox.
They had Tommy Maddox, right?
Wasn't he a UCLA guy?
Yeah, they had Tommy Maddox, right? Because he won it. I remember he won it. I thought it was Vegas. So they had Tommy Maddox because Tommy Maddox was the winner of the XFL championship. I remember that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99.9% sure Tommy Maddox
He won a championship.
Yeah, he won. He won a championship. Yeah, exactly. He didn't play too bad. And obviously, He Hate Me came out of there and all that good stuff. So we'll see if they can actually have any kind of success in the offseason.
Quarterback was Tommy Maddox.
Yeah. I remember that. That I got right. I got wrong that it was Vegas that won it. It was actually the LA Express, right? Is that what you said?
LA Extreme.
Extreme. That's right. Express was the USFL.
Yes.
It was the USFL. Now, that league was fun. The USFL was awesome. My dad, God rest in peace, he is, I mean, wow. He was as degenerate as it gets, okay? My dad could bet on everything in the world. And XFL, I mean, USFL was one of the things that we definitely bet on. And I remember we would go over the lines every week and talking about the XFL.
Wasn't Steve Young?
I mean, the USFL.
Wasn't Steve Young?
Yes. He was with the Tampa team,
and then,
right?
No,
the New Jersey Generals.
No.
That was Flutie.
Flutie with, what's his name?
Flutie. No.
Herschel Walker.
No, he was with LA Express. That's right. It was Young.
And then he went to the Tampa Bay
Bucks. And then they traded for him.
Exactly.
Right. That's what it was. That's right. Yeah.
But they had Jim Kelly. Kelly with Houston had the same
Gamblers.
record,
Yeah.
the same statistics as Marino, man.
Yeah, the Gamblers.
He was amazing.
Well, no, but that was a legit league.
Oh, they had Ernest Biner.
They
were loaded.
Ton.
Yes.
Reggie White started there.
Yes.
The USFL was.
They were legit.
They should have stayed where they were, and it would have sustained and it would have grown because you were having the stars and the attendance was getting there. Now, not all the teams were perfect, like the Boston Breakers, Portland Breakers, the ones that moved a couple times. The Breakers couldn't really find a good home, but most of the other teams actually had pretty good attendance. The whole thing was the stupid lawsuit and Trump obviously ruining it all.
Win $1.
Yeah, that's the part. You just don't take on the NFL, bro. Stay where you were, and you were bringing big players to play for you because eventually – you were playing in the summer. So you were going to get a lot of guys that if the money was starting to be the same, hell, I don't want to deal with those winners. I'll play in the summer in the USFL, and it still would have, maybe been around, and maybe we would have ended up with two leagues.
Two-league merger, AFL, NFL. Obviously, post that, the only legit football operation was
the USFL.
Yeah. Everything else has been fluky.
Yeah, once they thought they got smart and they were going to take on the NFL, that's when, it was over. And that was all because Trump never got his NFL team, so he was pissed, and so he wanted to go after the NFL, and he, thought he could.
You
take
win
on.
$1.
Yeah, you're not gonna take on the NFL and win, bro. You're just not gonna take them on and win. It's impossible. So we'll see what happens with the XFL. This weekend as they start anew. What do we got here on the on the chat board here so far. Big O Show. Ty says, Big O and Bill, good morning. Emilio says, good morning, boys. Happy Wednesday. Back on the road again, heading to San Antonio, Texas. Appreciate that. And appreciate you watching us on YouTube. 72 Fins logo saying good morning. Let's see, what else do we have here? Big O, should Miami get involved in a trade for another player before the deadline? You're talking about the Heat, and the rumor is that Iguodala is in the mix. And the question is, what do they trade back? I guess this thing isn't going to stay there, I guess. What do they
get some Velcro, man?
Yeah, something. No, I'm not ruining my mic flag. What's it called? The thing is, what are you giving back, right? Can you give Winslow? Can you give Dion Waiters? And then you've got to throw a little something extra on top of all of that. But you're not going to be throwing in Tyler, and you're not going to be throwing in Duncan. You're not going to be throwing in any of those kind of guys. So a second rounder, and I don't know what else you do. I don't know if you do the Leonard Myers thing. There's a series of combinations. But what you don't want to do is give up anything that is significant. And what I mean by that is a piece that you're actually going to build on. I got to tell you something. I cringed a little when I'm even hearing Leonard Myers because of the way he's played for the Heat. He's played so well as a complimentary player. I love the Iggy move. Don't get me wrong. I know it can add something defensively and a guy that can, an extra 3-point shooter, all those kind of things.
Playoff experience.
Yeah, that would help.
Playoff experience.
Yes. All of that would help out. But the bottom line is you cannot be giving up too much for this. And so if you have to give up anything significant, like a young guy, then no. Now, if you're going to give up Leonard Myers, it does suck because he's played well, but I get it. You've got Olynyk. You've got James Johnson back, so you can kind of, you can get by with it. You don't need to have too many bigs. With Bam and Olynyk, you'll be fine. And James Johnson, you're good. So you can get away with Myers Leonard. I would love to get rid of Winslow or Dion Waiters. You know what I mean? As much as I'm a Winslow guy and I like him, but the injuries are just, I get so turned off by players that can't stay healthy. I'm just not, if you're unreliable, I'm not a fan, period, in anything in life. You're unreliable. I don't want you as my wife. I don't want you as my girlfriend. I don't want you around, period, if you're unreliable, because it's just a pain in the ass, okay, unreliability. And that's what Winslow is. He's unreliable. We know he can play and help you in so many ways, but his body gives out every time. So if you could dump Dion, please. If you could get rid of Winslow, please. Whatever, man. Go for it. If you can make it happen, please make it happen. You got to give up a second-round pick, too. Go ahead. I don't care. They can't trade a first-rounder, thank the Lord, because you really don't trade a first-rounder for this guy because you're only borrowing him for half a season. You're hoping that he helps you as a defensive player so you can make a slightly deeper run into the playoffs. It's not like you're going to be a championship team. So you're not giving up something because you're on the brink. No, you're just trying to have a little better season is what you're trying to get. You're trying to see if maybe you can better yourself slightly in the playoffs. So for that, you don't give up anything that's going to help you in the long term. You could give up anything that's helping you in the short term and is not a long-term requirement. You get what I'm saying? So that really, in the end, is the only reason why you make this Iguodala trade. As long as you're not giving up too much and it doesn't hurt you in the future. That's all. That's it. That's where it ends. You don't do anything more for Iguodala. I don't know.
How about Winslow, Dion, and James Johnson, and a second rounder, and goodbye all three of you with.
You have no idea, no concept of NBA trades.
You have to have equal value.
Yes, bro. You're giving up $400 million for $20 million.
It's okay. So
you can't do that.
You can't throw in James. James's contract is
can't do that, bro.
Out of whack and can't
do that. Can't do that. So that's where you have to look at it and you have to weigh it. that it just has to be something that doesn't hurt you in the long run when it comes to the Miami Heat. That's it. Outside of that, you're fine. It's not going to be a bad thing to make this move as long as you're not hurting yourself, in the future. You do that, then I'm all for the move.
It sounds like this is about solidifying maybe a home spot, like
right.
2, 3, 4.
Staying in the top
2, 3,
4.
4.
Well,
Right.
they're already in the top 4, so stay in the top 4 so you have home court advantage, and you have another defensive player out on the perimeter. You know what I mean? And so that's going to be really, really important. And when you run into the Oladipos and you run into all these other big stars that you're going to run into, whether it's Boston with Jalen or whoever else, now you've got an Iggy that's going to help you slow some of those guys down. And I understand the method behind the madness for the move. Again, as long as it doesn't hurt you long term. That's all I care about. Outside of that, you can't be thinking short term because you're not a championship team. When you're a championship team, then yeah, you do whatever it takes to get over the hump. And even if you have to slightly overpay, you overpay. Okay? That's all. I don't have a problem with that. So yeah, I'm good with the move for the Miami Dolphins. For the Miami Heat. Flipside Fishing, Big O, what kind of jersey is that? This is the Orlando Rage from the XFL. In honor of the XFL starting this weekend, I guess you just tuned in. That's why we are doing it. Sneak Attack 305 says, nice jersey, Big O. Speaking of jerseys, I can't wait for the Inter Miami kits to come out so I can represent. Oh, what do you think about the Heat's matchup against the Clippers tonight? I'm looking forward to it, man. That's going to be fun. This is every elite team that you can play. This becomes an event. That's what we got tonight. It's an event night tonight. It's a basketball night in South Florida. And you know what I think? I think the Heat has a shot. Now, I know that Tyler did make the trip with the team. That's the good thing. Myers Leonard did not with the left ankle. So that hurts you a little bit. But again, like I've told you, you have Olynyk. You have now James Johnson back to go along with Bam. So you'll be fine there. And Bam has played just absolutely phenomenal. How he showed discipline the other night. And I like what he said after the game. He goes, hey, Spo and I have an understanding. He trusts me. He wanted me to stay away from silly fouls. And that's what I did. And obviously he was able to stay in the game and defend Embiid as well as he could, obviously because Embiid's a freaking stud. But you got to love Bam. So they're fine, and they got a shot at winning tonight. I mean, I don't go into a game with the Miami Heat in a defeatist attitude ever anymore. Not this team. This is the kind of team that can beat anybody in the NBA. Can they beat the Clippers in a 7-game series? Hell no. Hell to the no. Okay? Can they win tonight? Hell's to the yes. Can they beat the Lakers on any given night? Hell yeah, they can beat the Lakers. They can beat Milwaukee. They can beat anybody you want in the NBA on a given night. Are they going to beat Milwaukee in a 7-game set? No. Okay, they're not there yet. But they are good enough to be one of the top 4 seeds, which I didn't think they were at the beginning of the year, and they're good enough to beat anybody in the league. They're not at the point where they're good enough to beat any of the elite teams in a 7-game set. That's not where they're at yet, but that's fine. They're way better than I thought they would be. They're way better than most of you thought they would be. Come on. So there's nothing to complain about with the Heat. That's all. The only time you're going to hear me complain is if they overpay for Iguodala. Like they did for, James Johnson, Tyler Johnson, what's it called? Whiteside, those deals, Dion, those deals, you'll get ripped by me for those deals. Drubo says, Big O and Bill, let's go. Heat tonight. Who's staying up late with me to watch this team kick some butt? Oh, I'll be up, man. I'll be up. It's all right. I know I'll have, slightly bigger bags tomorrow at Toyota of Hollywood. Ty says, I was a big Tampa Bay Bandits fan. I loved Eric Trivillon. Or Trivion? I don't know. Is it Trivillon or Trivion? I remember the Tampa Bay Bandits back in the day.
Have we looked at the uniforms? Have they kept the same uniforms,
They're
they made
super cool? No, they're not the same because it's different cities, different
they have
logos, all
changed
that stuff.
up. Yeah,
So they changed it up, but they look good. They did a nice job with their marketing.
they have a professional look.
It's football, man. They get it. And XFL is part of wrestling. So when it comes
marketing,
to
marketing, flash, splash.
marketing's not going to be a problem for them. Their problem is going to be talent. Their problem is going to be quality of football.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
Just the talent?
Now, unfortunately, that's the problem for all those leagues. It's quality of talent. You know what I mean? Can you imagine if the XFL said, all right, well, let's do this. Let's have our own draft, and we draft the elite players coming out of college. We offered Joe Burrow a contract. Can you imagine that? The Tampa team is allowed one elite player to go get. And they say, well, we're going to draft Joe Burrow, and we're going to give him such and such money a year.
Just a little over what he could get as a rookie from the NFL. Just more.
No, it's not that much, so triple it.
Triple it?
Yeah.
Want just
It's the
get
rookie
that
deals.
cachet.
Right.
That's exactly what the USFL
If the
did.
rookie
Yeah.
deal is like $4 million a year or whatever, pay him 12.
That's
And then he has an option of, well, maybe the Bengals, I'll go to the XFL and I'll build that up.
That's what the New Jersey Generals did in getting Herschel and
Everybody,
and
no,
Flutie.
but that was all over. All over.
Yeah, the teams all
all did that. They
but
all
the,
did that.
The
but
one that set that benchmark was
Trump.
Yep, exactly.
It was Trump. That was Trump.
He went in sideways.
The
man.
Generals was his team.
Yeah. Yep.
And he paid like crazy for all those guys.
He was paying Herschel Walker for decades. He may still be paying.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy that Nunn just received his third Rookie of the Month. I know. Him and John Morant both have 3 Rookie of the Months. What's even crazier is that Butler won it 4 times his rookie year. So Nunn is still in second place in Heat history, and he's won it 3 times. Now, he's the only undrafted rookie to ever win it more than once. So twice was already an amazing accomplishment. Now he gets it 3 times. That's
he's
crazy,
all by
dude.
himself with that.
Yeah.
Undrafted
I don't.
accomplishments.
It's going to be a while till somebody breaks that one because it's hard for you to slip through the cracks of the draft and fall that far out where you don't get drafted and you're just hiding on somebody's roster, and then somebody else sees something in you that nobody else saw and says, grab him. Because apparently, I forgot the name of the scout for the Heat, but he was like going nuts. Like all year, we have to get him, we have to get him, we have to get him, we have to get him. The story is almost like by the end of the year, you're like, all right, dude, you've been such a pain in our ass all year about this guy. We know you know your stuff, so we got to go get this guy. And, like, they got him on the last day of the year.
It's just to shut him up, kind of?
And maybe, yeah, it's one of those things like I can't stand to hear you all offseason that we didn't get Kendrick Nunn. So what the hell? We got the space. Let's bring him aboard. Boom. And the rest is history.
With all the luck you
But it
said,
almost
you know,
sounds
it's
like
another thing. To get playing time, he got to go into the starting lineup with what he had done.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
Well, who's going to give an undrafted rookie playing time?
Yep. 72 Fins logo, yes, He Hate Me played in the XFL. Yes, sir. In fact, I want to say He Hate Me played for Las Vegas. I'm pretty sure. Can you look it up? Rod Smart is his name. Rod Smart. I think he played for Las Vegas. Yes, He Hate Me. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We'll see. I might be wrong. I usually am. Let's see. What else do we have here? Will Jesse Ventura be the announcer? I don't know. That's a good one. I have no idea. But he will be ready to go, I'm sure, at this point. You know, ready for the...
This is the XFL.
That's a drop that never gets old.
Is the XFL.
Never gets old. I hope he does it again. I hope he gives us a fresh, this is the XFL. I need another one of those, man. It'd be fantastic. All right, half hour down. Let's take a quick break here. We do want to remind you that the great people at Pallet Rack City, and listen, I want you to call Eddie right now if you own a warehouse and you want to straighten it out because it's a mess. You need great racks everywhere. Don't you love a great rack? I know I love a great rack. Racks are just a beautiful thing, and also for your warehouse. 305-887-9212 for Pallet Rack City. They buy and sell all new and used racking. They've got the largest used racking inventory in South Florida. They've got everything you need, all your warehouse needs, forklifts, you name it. They will take care of you. Hand trucks, all that stuff, dock boards, most packaging supplies. They've got it all for you. Call Eddie Pineda right now. That's my guy. 305-887-9212. Support the great sponsors that support our program, Pallet Rack City. We are back here on the program. Welcome back. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. By the way, I was right. Rod Smart did play for the Las Vegas Outlaws, and he is also a young man from Lakeland, Florida, too, on top of all of that. So there you go, a Florida kid. He played for the Eagles for a little bit also in the NFL. Played for,
Did some CFL, some NFL,
Played for the Chargers, the Outlaws, the Edmonton Eskimos, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Carolina Panthers, the Raiders, and Tennessee. Had a cup of coffee in Tennessee for a practice squad type of thing. That's it.
So wasn't that much of a player because his claim to fame is he hate me, right?
Well, dude, he lasted.
I'm saying he was able to make a living.
He lasted 4 years in Carolina.
But his fame is
his fame is XFL.
That's what he's known for.
Well, because He Hate Me was like the top name. It was like so cool. It was funny. It was one of those things like, wow, this guy put on his jersey, he hate me.
Because when I'm running away from him and he's looking at my back, he hate me.
Yeah. That's it. Haters, man. That's what it's all about. So, yeah, that was funny. All right. We got a bunch of things to talk about today on the show. I don't even know where to start. I got to tell you, I'm looking at my notes here, and I've got so many different things to talk about. You know what I did see, and this was kind of funny. Did you guys catch, because the whole Tom Brady, where's he going, and what's he going to do, and all that stuff, and this is where football, basketball, and even soccer do things that you'll never see in baseball, right? And yesterday, did you catch the Julian Edelman tweet? So Julian Edelman tweets out John Cusack say anything, and it's his face holding up the box, and it says, "Baby, come back." Right, about Tom Brady. And you know what? Julian Edelman may even know where Tom Brady's going. He's just maybe effing everybody, you know what I'm saying, and just having fun with this. Or maybe he doesn't, and, maybe Tom Terrific hasn't told anybody, and maybe only Gisele Bündchen knows exactly where he's going. So, but these are the little things, okay? Look, I still think Brady goes back to the Patriots. I've told you that I think this is all a power move. When it's all said and done, I don't think this is anything more than that. I don't think he's going to play for the Raiders. I don't think he's going to play for the Chargers. None of that stuff. I don't even think he's going to take Jimmy Garoppolo's job in San Francisco, which was a really, really – I don't know if you guys heard this. There's a scenario, Dan Graziano on Get Up yesterday was talking about the scenario where what's it called? Brady could end up going to San Francisco and take the job from Jimmy Garoppolo.
The way the 49ers build their contracts allows them to change course midstream if they decide to change the plan, upgrade at a position. And Jimmy Garoppolo's contract is no exception. There are 3 years left. Not a dollar of it is guaranteed. As of April 1st, $15.7 million of his $23.8 million salary this year becomes guaranteed. But April 1st is 2 weeks after the start of free agency, and it's no coincidence that the 49ers do their deals with that date as the trigger. So if Tom Brady wanted to go there, if the 49ers decided that Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't the guy, that they were a better fourth quarter quarterback play away from winning the Super Bowl 2 days ago, they could move on from Jimmy Garoppolo, owe him no more money, and replace him at quarterback.
Now, I don't think that happens either. But again, there's another scenario, right, that people are talking about. I don't think so. I've said Tennessee and Chicago are the two best spots for him because I think they're ready-made. All they need is a real quarterback. They don't have that there. So that would be an option too. And, whatever. I don't think it's going to happen. When it's all said and done, I think he stays there. Now, this is not why I bring it up. I bring it up because this is something that goes viral, right? Edelman tweets it out, and then that thing obviously goes all over the country, heck, all over the world, because you've got football fans all over the world that are interested in where Tom Brady is going to go, especially, I'm sure, Patriots players are Patriots fans all over the world are very interested in all of this. So by Edelman doing this and it going viral, it's on every newscast, all of that, it's been liked 74,000 times. It's been retweeted 12,400 times, okay? It's been commented on 832 times. So this thing obviously exploded, right? These are the things they don't do in baseball. They don't know how to bring attention to their game and their sport and have fun with social media. They're so out of touch with social media. They're so out of touch with millennials. They're way out of touch with Generation Zs. That's the younger crowd. Those people have no interest whatsoever in baseball. Very few kids. It's so minimal. And these little things, they know how to promote their sport. They know how to interact. Did you see the Ja Morant, Steph Curry social media stuff that went on? Right? The whole Iggy thing. Iggy's in jail there in Memphis. They don't let him out. They don't trade him, whatever, all that. And so, Steph tweets out, a picture with Iggy in the championship and, basically saying, hey, he helped us win a championship, This guy's a hell of a player. Ja Morant then tweets out Kevin Durant with the championship. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of going back and forth with all this. And again, that's fun. It goes viral that you've got the players going at it and having fun with this thing. And it's not anything like super personal or anything like that, but it's still kind of taking little digs at each other. But in the process, you're putting your sport out there. You're putting headlines out there. You're getting people to talk about you. You know what I'm saying? It takes a Mookie Betts trade for us to talk about baseball. Okay? And it's just going to go under the bridge, like water under a bridge, like nothing within a day or two. And everybody will forget about it because it's baseball. And I was just looking at those examples of Ja Morant and Steph, about Julian Edelman, all of this. These are things that I wish baseball players would wake up and look at how they need to grow their sport. Because you think about it, if the Red Sox are worried about money, that's not a good thing. That's kind of weird, and I'm wondering what the landscape of baseball. See, because I'm one of those guys that thinks I believe logically, and I think the money's going to start shrinking in baseball because as attendance drops, as interest plummets, ratings plummet, how the hell do you keep the money going? There's no way of doing that. If less and less people are interested in baseball, advertisers and TV stations or TV broadcasting networks are going to know that. So there's no way the same kind of flow or even bigger flow is going to be coming in. And I wonder if the Red Sox were thinking that. I heard Jeff Passan talk about, the Dodgers, they had flexibility and they had, a great minor league and all that. Yeah, it's great, but the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Cubs, those are teams that normally don't worry about money. It's kind of weird that the Red Sox are so worried that they need to get under the luxury tax. And remember, the Red Sox own their own network. So they have another, stream of revenue that's coming in that a lot of teams don't have. Because there's a lot of teams, they may have a TV deal, but they don't have a TV network. When you've got Yes and you've got Nesson and you got stuff like that, that's a lot of money that you got coming in. So it's really weird, you know what I mean? The Mookie Betts trade yesterday, and I'm looking at the Edelman stuff, and there's a lot of correlations to all of this. And I think the people that are seam heads, they may not see it coming, or they are trying to avoid it and not talk about it. But the owners have got to know that their sport is no longer growing anymore. It is now declining. And so I don't know what they do, but their players aren't like Julian Edelman, and they're not like Steph Curry, and they're certainly not like John Morant. Can you imagine? John Morant is a rookie. A rookie with swag, a rookie that is the rookie of the year, okay? And this guy's out there leading his team as a rookie, and he's out there tweeting to the world and taking on Steph Curry. That's, that's some juice, man. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But when I saw that Edelman thing, I was like, okay, this is definitely, something that baseball desperately needs in a big-time way. See what we got here. Dude, Brady got home everywhere once he is done. He goes to his home in Brazil, Argentina, or Connecticut, or New York condo. Okay, I don't know what that means, but that's fine. He says he stays in New England. Will be well, I've been saying that. I've been saying from the get-go that all of this is a leverage ploy by him against Belichick. Got to listen to the show, Sid. Let's see. Ty from the Bronx says baseball is in serious trouble. Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind that baseball is in serious trouble. They do not get it whatsoever at all. I'm telling you. All right, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. David Furones, by the way, is going to join us from the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Canes beat writer will join us at the bottom of the hour. We're going to talk a little Canes with him. We'll get the latest on National Signing Day tomorrow, which looks like it'll be a light thing, but we'll get some notes in there, and we'll talk a little bit with him about certain subjects that I want to get into. One thing that I wanted to mention before we go to the break and bring on David Furones is prayers go out to Huey Lewis, man. And this is kind of an odd thing. I love talking about music at times. And those of you that know who Huey Lewis is, and Huey Lewis and the News, I don't know if this has ever happened to you. Has anybody ever taken away something you love, and then you're willing to, you know, try to do whatever you can to keep it going and revive it, whatever it is. If it's your girlfriend or wife or your husband or boyfriend or whatever, and you're trying to win them back, if it's a career that you have, you know what I mean? Hey, look at me, right? I mean, I do work for Sirius, but locally, obviously, I'm not on a local radio station anymore. But I said, hey, man, I love doing radio. Maybe I can do it on my own nowadays. Maybe I don't need a radio station. So let me try to keep doing what I love, right? And wow, I mean, knock on wood, plenty of wood in here. It's actually more than worked out. It's been great. And so you want to do what you love. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's teaching, whether you drive a bus, whether you are an accountant, whatever it is that you do, that you love what you do, because I know that a lot of people out there don't love what they do. But, or maybe you have a hobby, some kind of a passion, right? And that's something that you like to do on the side, and that's kind of what keeps you going too. You know what I'm saying? We all have some kind of a passion, and musicians, obviously, that's their passion. More often than not, people that are in rock and roll, they and especially if they're successful, they paid a lot of dues before they got there. And they had to play in a lot of crappy places and not make a lot of money and all that stuff to kind of prove themselves. Why? Because it's what they love. And Huey Lewis lost his hearing. Now, it's not on a permanent level, and he's doing some treatment for it and trying to resurrect his career. And his band just came out with a new album, but it only had 7 songs because he couldn't finish the album because of the hearing. And in fact, let me read this story for you, because when somebody loses something that they love, it's got to be one of the worst things in the world. You could lose a job, but maybe you don't love that job, okay? And you're kind of maybe happy that you're not there anymore, or if you left somewhere and you left it because you weren't happy, but you're going to find somewhere else because you like what you do, but you want to find it with the right people, right? Whatever it is, however they take it away from you. Listen to this. Huey Lewis remained hopeful that his hearing condition will improve so he can perform again. And he even joked about supporting his own hologram on tour in a way of getting back on stage. Lewis and the News have a new album called Weather, which will be released on Valentine's Day. It contains 7 songs because that's how many he was able to record before his hearing failed on him in 2018, and he was forced to cancel all future tour cities. He later admitted he felt suicidal and struggled to deal with the condition. He can sometimes hear well enough to sing, but other times he can't even follow a conversation. Think about that. He goes, the inner ear is one thing that medical science knows the least about. It's cased in a bone, and there's no surgery. But I'm taking stem cell stuff and trying everything with my hearing, always fluctuating. My body is doing it itself. What I have to do is stay healthy, exercise, and hope my body will slowly take care of itself. He noted that he felt good at one point that he booked 2 days in a rehearsal studio, but by the time the band flew in, his hearing was shot again. He did manage to perform 1 song, listen to this, in a small concert in St. Andrews, Scotland during a golf trip. He goes, I was able to do it because I was in a tiny place, not in an arena, and the band was very quiet, he recalled. It felt amazing, though. I was so happy. Think about that. At a golf tournament in some tiny little bar with some band that's there, he gets to sing 1 song, and he feels like he's on top of the world. It's not a platinum record. It's not an arena concert. He's not leading a stadium. This isn't the 80s anymore, where you could easily feel gratified by any of those things that I talked about. No, you're just in a tiny little place. Why? Because Huey Lewis once again got to do what he loves to do. And any of you out there, whether you love cooking, whether you love whatever it is, mechanics, whatever you do, it makes you super freaking happy because you're good at it, you're creative, it allows you to be yourself or whatever. You know, that feeling is something that we all want. And reading this story, man, I felt bad. He says Lewis said his former production manager is now working on the Buddy Holly hologram tour, which led to the idea of creating his own projection-based performance. They had to use a model to ape Buddy Holly to create the hologram. He explained, I'd be the perfect model for Huey Lewis. I could come on tunes and do shtick. The crew loves the idea. More seriously, Lewis says he could now live with the possibility of never being able to perform again. I have a great life. I'm a lucky guy, he reflected. Sometimes I have to remind myself of that, but I am. And it's hard to remind yourself that you're still a human being, that you still have other things that you can do. But when they take away what you love, and when it's taken away from you and you didn't want it taken away, that's tough, man. So, you know, thoughts and prayers to Huey Lewis. I hope he gets his hearing back because that's a sad story to lose what you love. All right, let's take a break. David Furones from the South Florida Sun Sentinel is going to join us. We talk a little Miami Hurricanes with him